The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome everyone to this edition of Insights. This week we'll be talking about how Alpena Public Schools is helping their students prepare for college. And joining me today is Lee Fitzpatrick, who is the parent coordinator in Alpena Public Schools. Thank you for joining me today.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Alpena Public Schools has just recently agreed to be involved with the AmeriCorps program. Can you explain a little bit about what that program is?
Yes, AmeriCorps is a very cool program. It's been described as a domestic Peace Corps, and so it's a volunteer program. It's usually younger folks. There's a stipend that they're paid, and there's also some college loan forgiveness, which draws a lot of people. It's them taking a year out of their life to do something that is community service based, and it takes a really special, wonderful person to take that task on.
Right, and right now you guys are actually in the process of interviewing candidates to become this AmeriCorps member. How is that process working?
Well, it's been great. We had some wonderful candidates. I think we have set our sights on a person. The process isn't finished yet. I think the interviews are done though. So what happens is they are actually an AmeriCorps employee that is somewhat donated for our use. And so the person that's selected will be informed really in the next day or so. Okay. And then they will interview with AmeriCorps for the position. So AmeriCorps would then make the final decision to hire that person. Okay,
and so with that being said, AmeriCorps is really the big business part of this equation, being that they're an AmeriCorps employee, not an APS employee.
Yes, yeah, the AmeriCorps essentially provides a person. There is some cost to the district on that person, but they're not an APS employee. They would report to a supervisor who's it's the assistant principal at the high school. They would report to, and they would get their check, all that kind of thing, through AmeriCorps. So they become, I guess, a donated employee of some sort.
Right, right. Yeah. And so you guys have kind of selected it down, and now, like you just said, they're going to AmeriCorps for that final process in the interview. But when do you guys expect to kind of get the program up and running?
We would like to have someone in place on October 1st. Normally what would happen would be that this would happen over the summertime. We had an AmeriCorps worker in the past that was wonderful and did a nice job for us. Joyce McCoy, who's our secondary education director, because she has kind of the cachet with AmeriCorps in the history, she was able to send kind of feedback to AmeriCorps and say, this program was great. If we tweaked it this way, it would really work best for our community. And because she has because that relationship exists with them, they allowed us to do that. So we're kind of jumping in later than we would be.
Right, right. And why did you guys decide to get involved with the program at all?
Well, it's in education right now, money is so tight. Every person's taken on 3 and 4 extra responsibilities, and this is an opportunity to have more help, and we need more help. Every day you run out of time, and there's so much more that can be done. And so this is another high-quality person that we can put into our system, and that can focus on mentoring a specific group of students that can use assistance. And so it's really, really valuable to have that person.
Absolutely. And with that being said, how is the program going to be structured? How will this help students?
They are going to mentor a targeted group of students and work very closely with both the students and the families and try and get them through what can be a very difficult process. Education itself, there's our community has a very high percentage of folks that have never been to any post-secondary education, and so it's a kind of uncharted territory for a lot of our families. And even for the most prepared families, filling out financial aid, college applications, it's quite a process. And so this person will specifically help to guide that targeted group of students through this process and really pave the pathway to success for them.
Right, which is so important to have, especially as a student in high school. And you were talking about a targeted group of students. How many students will be able to take part in this program?
The program calls for 50 specific students, and that person has to interact with all 50 students on a weekly basis.
Oh, wow.
And will report back. It's really a big job.
Yeah.
It's night times, it's mornings, it's daytime. Not like have one meeting a week where they sit with those 50, but really interact on a personal level with students and families of those 50 targeted.
Mm-hmm. So in a dream world, how much time would this person spend with each of those 50 students?
Well, it's a 40-plus hour a week position, and so you're thinking if you just broke it down, it's not going to be the same every week. It really doesn't work out that way.
Right.
But you know, you're putting in some significant amount of time, a half an hour per person on average. It's not going to work out like that on a weekly basis. Some are going to get a quick hello and check in. Some are going to have a meeting. You know, not only students but families too. So it's a big job.
And I would venture to say it's on a person-to-person basis.
Absolutely. The key to the success of this position is building relationships with those families and those students.
Okay. And this program also calls for not only mentoring but job shadowing. How is that going to play a part?
This person will work with our business community to help create opportunities for students. There's, you know, just like there's every student is different. There's different needs, different goals, and they will help to match them up with whatever opportunity is that they feel is their road forward.
Okay. And so how much job experience, job shadowing will they get?
It really depends, again, on the student. There's going to be some students that say, hey, I really like my auto tech class. We got a great program at the high school. That student, you know, may do that at their household, and their experience is not one that they need to necessarily go do that for another entity. A student that, say, wants to go into business would be very valuable for them to get both a relationship and experience with a local business, and so they would help to place them. It will be, the great part about this is it's very personal and it's personalized for the student.
Fantastic. All right, well, when we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit more about how Alpena Public High School is helping students prepare for their future.